Hey guys, welcome early to today's training. Just wanted to leave you guys some music because while we're waiting for people to just hop on, I've been on trainings like this before and it's a little dull and boring. And when you have like a conversation and a topic so exciting as this one, you're gonna have to kind of bring the energy and the heat to this. So until then, we're gonna wait for a couple more people to hop on, but until then, let's just listen to some really nice music. Also, guys, if you guys can hear me and see my screen, can you just do me a favor and put the number 7? I just want to make sure you guys can see me and hear me. It'd be super awkward if we got into the training and turns out 10 minutes in, you guys couldn't hear me and see me. So if you guys can hear me and see me, just put a number 7 in the chat box. And until then, like I said, let's listen to some tropical music. Also, really quick, I always love doing this whenever we have these trainings. Just put your name, your country or your state or your city where you're from. I mean, I think it's really cool that we can do this from anywhere in the world. And, you'll literally see in today's training, there's people from all around the world doing this. So yeah, if you could just leave your name and your country and your city and your state, just put it in the chat box. I'm actually here based in Bali, where we have a huge community of people that make money online. I see we have a lot of people from the US, which is obvious. Actually, Gary, you're going to hear more about his story. He's from California. We have a lot of Germans here. So Ich liebe dich. If you guys know what that means I love you in German. It's just really cool because what you see today, you could literally do from anywhere in the world. Also, for those that are leaving chat box comments right now, I could see your chat. Yes, I can. We've just muted everybody else's because we've done these in the past and it just gets overwhelming if you literally get notified for every single chat. So I can see your chat, my staff can see your chat, but no one else can see your chat just so that you guys don't get overwhelmed. Okay, guys, welcome to today's training. I'm so excited for this training because this is literally the thing that completely changed my life. But before we actually begin, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. We've literally muted the chat so that you guys don't get overwhelmed. Trust me, when we did this in the past and everyone got those notifications, it was very, very, very hard to stay focused. So like I said, I can see your chat, my staff can see your chat, and we're going to do a huge Q&A at the end of this training. And yeah, I think this has literally been the thing that you have been looking for and searching for on literally how to make $10 a day and systematically grow to $100 and $1,000 a day or more with no fancy skills. But before we actually begin, I want to play a little game, right? And a little game to everybody that literally showed up on time. So shout out to you guys. I have this like little gizmo thing here right now that I could use to just add cool little electronic effects. But I'm just really curious if you guys could just test it in the chat box. What do you guys think that all of these people have in common? Just leave it in the chat box right now. And you probably will never guess what it is. So I just want to be curious on what people are actually saying, what you guys think all these people have in common. And no, it's not. Someone put like, they're all white. No, they're not. Ernesto's from Mexico. We have Raj from India, right? And the coolest thing about this is they're literally from all around the world. I mean, you have Ernesto from Mexico, Nick from USA, Les from USA, Ellie from USA, who's actually from Brazil, Derek from USA, Raj from India, Bonnie from USA, Angela from USA. And yeah, I'm surprised no one has actually guessed it, right? They all built a $1,000 a day business using this exact same system that we are about to share with you in today's training. And the crazy thing is not just them, right? There's so many people that were just like them, that were on a training like this and like, oh, I don't know if I don't understand it. I don't believe it. Everything that I've tried never worked for me. I don't know if I'm smart enough or I don't have the tech savviness. Well, check this out. Here are the results from the last webinar. I mean, you had Howell hit 1K per day, Corey hit 1K per day, Marco hit 1K per day, Fabio hit 1K per day, Keegan hit 1K per day, who we're actually going to introduce you later on why his case study is actually one of the favorite ones. Jonathan 1K per day, Tammy 1K per day, then quit her job with the system, Derek 2K per day, Henry 9K per day, Nick 6K per day. Now, that's the craziest thing, right? And everyone's like, oh man, like that's good for them. But like, just imagine, right? You go through this entire training, you take notes, and even if you got a fraction of what they got, imagine what it would do for your life, right? But just to make sure that I'm kind of getting a good audit of where everyone else is at, because remember, this training is for you guys, right? This training is for people to kind of get to the next level. How many guys actually want to get to the next level? Just think I or nod your head, right? But before we actually could get to that point B of where you want, we got to first define your point A. So I'm just really curious, where are you guys at right now in your life? Do you have a business? Do you not have a business? Are you retired? Are you at a job that you love? Are you at a job that you completely hate? Let me know in the chat box what business or occupation that you are in right now. Are you retired, working a day job, just starting out? Have you tried affiliate marketing in the past? You know, many people that come to us have sold on Amazon in the past, maybe Kindle, info products, AdSense, email marketing, something else. Leave it in the comments just so that I know. Because, you know, it could be pretty overwhelming, right? If this is like the 5th or 6th thing you've tried right now and you're like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to be the thing it is for me, or it seems like it's so hard for me to actually go ahead and succeed. Don't worry, we have something for you. So, I see a lot of people are just getting started. We have some people that are doing a lot of drop shipping. Awesome. I did a lot of drop shipping in the past. We have a lot of affiliate marketers. We have some people that are nurses. Also, my mom was actually a nurse. Super stressful job, by the way. And there's actually some nurses that actually succeeded with this, and we're going to introduce you to them later on. But here's the thing, okay? This is my promise to you. As long as you commit to, for example, taking notes and paying attention, my only goal today is I'm going to show you why right now is by far the best time to make money online and how to do it. Plus, how you can tap into it right now and start generating $500 to $1,000 a day and hit your first 6 figures online right now. How many guys wouldn't mind an extra $500 or $1,000 a day? Just slowly nod your head as you are staring at the screen or just whisper in your ear, not actually in your ear, but like in your mind, right? And how it could literally change your life. Now, I don't do this every single day, maybe one day in the future, but you can see that this thing right now, for someone like me, not the smartest person in the world, never had that much tech skills, not confident in my own ability, why this screenshot was literally what changed my life. And the best part is you don't need any experience to do this. People are like, well, I don't have any experience, Mike. I can never do this. Here's the thing. You don't need an email list. You don't even need your own product. You don't need your own website. You don't need to have a lot of time. You don't need to have a huge budget to start, and you don't even need to leave your house. And for those that are always wondering, well, Mike, can I do this if I'm not in the USA? You don't have to be in the USA. Nick, someone over here in the corner that we're going to introduce you later on, and why his results are actually insane, especially with the new things that we just kind of stumbled upon in the past couple of months that I'm super excited to share with you guys. In this training, like I said, make sure you pay attention, turn off all the tabs, put your phone on airplane mode, turn off everything else, and just literally stay focused, because you're about to discover a brand new 10-day-old idea that's already making $143 a day profit. 3 simple steps to earn as much as 30 grand or more for products you don't even have to create or ship yourself. I know that's insane for people that have come from the e-commerce space. You're like, what? I don't have to have my own products or ship anything myself. How you can literally start within as little as 20 minutes, and how to scale this super simple system from $10 a day to $100 a day to $1,000 a day or more. You've literally seen, the results. Some of these people literally took what we are sharing with you in today's training and have created amazing results for themselves, as well as a student that went from 0 to 6K per day in sales from a silver lining opportunity caused by this new opportunity, and the exact method a 62-year-old grandmother used to make 160 grand in 90 days, allowing her to pay off both of her daughter's student loan debt. That's the coolest thing about this system. It's not necessarily about the money, but what the money can actually do for you, right? And how AI, or artificial technology, as complicated as it sounds, will literally do all of the work for you. And you don't even need any experience or tech skills to actually get started, and so much more. But before we begin, there's a question that we always ask whenever we do these events all around the world. This one was in Las Vegas. We've had them in Bali, in Thailand, and we do a lot of these events for our community members because we love getting everybody together, right? But before we actually begin one of these events, since we are on a digital event, I want to ask you a question. What is your why? Now, I really want you to start thinking that and letting that kind of like resonate with you. What is your why? Because what you're going to understand, the how is easy. The people that make $1,000 a day, that's actually easy. What's difficult is finding out why you actually want to make the money. Does that actually make sense? Because the mentor once told me, when the why is big enough, the how falls into the place, right? And this is exactly what my was. Because my parents came from the Philippines to America. Like, how many guys know where the Philippines are? They have really nice, like mangoes and coconuts. And I went when I was younger, and it was super fun. And they came to a small suburbs in the Midwest where I was born. And here is my entire lovely family. Here's me, my sister, who would accidentally cut her hair when she was younger. That's why she kind of looks like a boy, even though she's a girl. And my mom and my dad. And this was literally my why. This was the reason why I was willing to work so hard to, try to become successful, because I knew it wasn't for me. It was for the people I cared about. How many of you guys can actually relate and you're like, okay, money is cool, but man, what this money can do for my loved ones. Comment I in the chat box. Because here's the thing, even though that was the case, like I wasn't the smartest person in the world and I did not have all of these, opportunities in my life, but I had the strong why. Does that make sense? And I thought my original how, what we were talking about, was to become a dentist. Right, so here's me pursuing the path of dentistry. Here's me in the scrubs. And what I did not like this, right? I did not like this. This was the wrong how, but I had the strong why. And as I was like stuck in this lifestyle and in this occupation and in this kind of like soul crushing career, I felt like there was so much more to life. Like how many of you guys can relate, say I, right? That you think that maybe you were in a job or in a business that isn't fulfilling you, or you don't have the freedom to do the things that you love, to spend the time with the people that you care about the most. How many of you guys feel stuck, right? I felt so stuck that I got into a really dark place. Like where I would just, I was like, man, I'm making all this money to literally have no time to actually spend the money. And my family's getting older and I'm so stressed. And, even though I'm like making money, I don't have money for the bills, and it was just confusing. And I just started doing a lot of like bad and unhealthy things and started drinking and was going down a downward spiral of blame and victim and shame and guilt, to the point where I was like literally stuck. And I knew I needed to get out. So like anybody else who've like seen Netflix or like have read his books, for those who know what Tony Robbins is, it's like, this is a guy that completely changed my life, read his books when I was younger. He has like a Netflix documentary, but literally when I had no money, when I was at my lowest of lows, I was like, you know what? Because people like Oprah and people like really smart people from Hugh Jackman, like Wolverine, Princess Diana, Bill Clinton, Mother Teresa, Serena Williams, Leo DiCaprio, since they go to him for advice, I might as well, take all of this money that's on my mom's credit card and go to this event. Because I feel like if I can't create change for myself, I need somebody to literally knock some sense into me to create some, change for me. Does that make sense? And sometimes you need that when everyone else around you is negative and your family and your friends bring you down and they don't support you. I knew from things to change, I needed to change. So I literally put, a bunch of, the cost for this tuition, which was several thousands of dollars, to go to this event, and this event like completely, and I mean completely, changed my life. Because in this event, there was one exercise that completely changed everything. Tony Robbins had everyone close their eyes. And he had us imagine what it would be like on our deathbed when we are about to die. Fast forward this in the future, right? On the last day of our life, surrounded by all of the people that we care about. But not only that, to see all of our dreams, goals, and aspirations that never happened because you were so afraid to take that leap of faith. To do the thing that you knew you were put on this earth to do, and to close our eyes for the last time to see the person you could have become and have not been so afraid to actually take action, right? And to close your eyes forever knowing that you completely wasted your life. And then he told 8,000 people in the room, now I want you to make the noise with his booming voice of what it would be like on your last dying breath to see the person you could have been, to experience the love you could have felt, to live the life you could have lived had you have not been so afraid to take action towards your goals, knowing that now it's too late and it's not ever going to happen because you never did the one thing you knew you needed to do. You never told that person you love them. You never started that business. You never gave the people you love the life that they wanted. You never experienced life to the fullest, but instead to die feeling nothing but pure regret, shame, and guilt. And even now to this day, as I remember it, there's literally like goosebumps that is on my arm because 8,000 shrieks completely filled the air. People in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that were in the room, guys, crying in the pain that they envisioned. And it was in that moment that I knew that I needed to make a change to get the life that I wanted. And that's when I realized that I did not have all the time in the world and that the real definition of hell is on the last day you have on this earth. And I want you to imagine this. The person you became meets the person you could have become had you not been so afraid to take action. And that person looking down at you in pure disappointment that you have completely wasted your life. And I knew I needed to do something different with my life. And for me to get results fast, I knew that I had to find someone with the results that I wanted and to learn from them directly. Does that make sense? Like if I wanted to go to soccer, I'll listen to David Beckham, basketball, Michael Jordan. If I wanted to become successful, I needed to find someone that was living the lifestyle that I wanted, that wasn't rich or famous, but was literally ahead of me that I could learn from. And that's when I literally met my mentor, Gary, who completely changed my life. You know, I interviewed all the things that I learned on this podcast, which I could literally send to you if you guys want. But he taught me a concept known as leverage, where someone like me, not the smartest person in the world, as you can see, I look borderline homeless as I'm asking for his advice. Someone who did not have the time or the experience or the money to get started. How can I use leverage to create wealth and success for myself? And I'm telling you this right now, I did not believe in myself, but when he believed in me for me, enough to the point where I was able to succeed, I made $8,000 in 30 days. And that alone completely changed my life. And I thought that was it. But like I said, when you are surrounded by people that help push you to your greatness, you start breaking crazy like barriers that you did not thought was possible. It's the point where you literally saw one of like my old screenshots. We literally did this in a month and my entire life completely changed. I had no idea this was possible because my entire life, I just wanted to pursue dentistry and thought that this was the path to success. Does that make sense? And I'm really curious. And if you want to have this interview, type in, send me the interview in the chat box and I'll email it to you. And, you know, for everyone else that's asking a bunch of questions, don't worry, we'll have a bunch of Q&A. And like I said, we muted a bunch of people's chats so you don't get notified whenever you guys see all of the people that are on here because it just gets overwhelming, right? But I can send this to you if you just want, just put it in the chat box. Like anybody else that never came into much money, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start living my life. How many of you guys actually want to start living your life? Say I. I started grabbing my ukulele and just took that and just started traveling around the world to, you know, seeing Machu Picchu because I've never been there, or swimming with whale sharks in Philippines because I've never been to that part of the Philippines, to even like hanging out with monkeys in Thailand. I was like, you know what? While everybody's getting Lambos and big mansions and nice cars, I just want to collect, you know, experiences instead of things. How many of you guys can relate to taking even people that I care about and love all around the world? Right? How many guys would actually want to collect experiences instead of things? Type in I do in the chat box below. And to even like recording things on my YouTube channel and my blog, right? And even writing a book about it because I was like, man, if all of this changed my life, I might as well share this. And you can see here's like a review on Amazon. But like I said, you know, more and more people started asking. So we started doing events, and it was at these events, like this one was in Bali, that completely changed not only my life, but like a bunch of other people's lives. I was like, okay, well, if Tony was able to do an event and it changed my life, what if we started doing events? You know, here's one that we did in Vegas and it was like super fun, as well as like using that newfound time and money freedom to start even like getting into the same network as my, you know, idols. Like this girl created this company that I really look up to. It's Mind Valley. It's a huge $100 million a year meditation company. How many of you guys are familiar with Mind Valley? And let me know in the chat box. As well as someone that owns Gojek, which is the Asian version of Uber. He came over to my house and we did a little podcast. As well as Mike Chang from Six Pack Shortcuts built it to $10 million per year. As well as even like Wim Hof and his brother. Check this out. Wim Hof's brother ended up coming over to my house and we just ended up having a podcast. And like I said, I never thought all of this was actually possible, right? Because remember, when you guys are like, oh man, that's really cool for you, Mike. But remember, these guys are the same guys. On the left, I didn't understand anything. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have the confidence to the right living my dream life. And this would have never happened if I did not find my why, which is what we talked about, if I did not find the right mentor, and if I did not follow this exact same system that you are about to share and see today to a T. Does that make sense? So like I said, before we begin, what is your why? Comment in the chat box right now so I know and I can better actually serve you. Why do you want to do the thing that it is that you want to do? Do you want to retire mom and dad? Do you want to retire husband or wife? Do you want to give your kids or your future kids a life that you've never had? Let me know, because like I said, the stronger the why, the how will fall into place, and we'll literally give you the how today. Does that make sense? Because in the next couple of minutes, we're going to go over the proven system on how to make $500 to $1,000 a day to fund your very why. But remember, quick disclaimer, I can't promise you that you're going to get rich quick overnight, obviously. And your success will depend on your own work ethic, risk tolerance, level of commitment, and your ability to follow these instructions and pay attention to a T, meaning turn off all Facebook, Instagram, all of like your social media, put your phone on airplane mode, because how well you listen and take notes and engage with me on this training will literally be what will make or break your success. Does that make sense? But what I can promise you is I'll show you exactly the system that all of the success stories are currently using right now to get results. Sound fair enough? Type in "that sounds fair enough" in the chat box. But of course, please leave the call if you're lazy and you tend to procrastinate. This is not for you, okay? If you don't have the willingness to learn, this is not for you. And if you don't have a strong why to actually make money, then this is not for you. But for those that do, My promise to you is if you stay until the end, not only will I give you the complete list of 131 of the world's most profitable products to sell online for free, which you're like, well, Mike, that's great, but I don't know what products to sell. I don't know where to get started. We're gonna give you that for free if you stay until then, but we'll give you 7 free bonuses. That's valued a lot of money for free. I mean, you know, you've heard about AI and artificial intelligence, and maybe you've heard those buzz terms, and you're like, that seems really complicated. What if we gave it to you as a bonus? Or 3 free websites. So you're like, well, I'm not tech savvy. Well, what if we just created those websites for you? Or splash pages, which if you're like, well, I don't know how to make sales. I don't want to do any sales. I hate selling. Selling is sleazy. What if we created pages for you that did the selling for you? Or the exact same money making products that some of these people are doing to make millions. Or even the ads that we run. If you're like, well, I don't know how to run ads. What are ads, Mike? What if we gave you the same $1 million ad vault that literally has worked for some of our most successful community members, as well as a bonus that did 300K in 14 days case study? Okay. And we're literally giving all of you guys for free as long as you stay until the end. The reason why we do this is because we know people have very short attention spans, guys, right? Like I'm a culprit to this. Like so many people have short attention spans too. So for you to really get committed and to take action, we want to give you guys just a little bit of a motivation to stay until the end. So I'm really curious who here is actually committed to staying till the end. Type in I commit in the chat box right now as I drink some water because I'm getting really excited. And come on, guys, more commits. We're not going to get started until I literally get you guys to commit. So guys, say I commit and then we're going to get started. I commit. Awesome. So here's the thing. You're probably wondering, well, Mike, who are you, right? Well, who are we? My name is Mike Vestil. I've been online since 2014, based in Bali, Indonesia, where I'm at right now. And I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, raised from immigrant parents from the Philippines. And the reason why I started internet marketing was for location freedom. You know, I didn't want to die in the same city and state and country that I was born in, right? That was like my biggest fear. So how many guys can actually relate? Type in location freedom in the chat box. And then here you have my mentor, Gary Kramer, and his business partner, Rob Jones, who helps with all the operational stuff. And he's from San Diego. He's a father of 3, and he started internet marketing because he was tired of the rat race of the corporate world. And he didn't like that somebody else would tell him what to do, when to do it, when he could see his family, when he could take his family on vacation. How many of you guys can actually relate? Type in, I'm tired of the rat race in the chat box right now. And overall, we've had over 25 years of experience. And ever since we had that podcast that blew up, that we're literally going to go ahead and send you, if you just want to, just type in, send me the podcast in the chat box. We literally started doing events all around the world. I mean, this one was in Thailand. This one was in San Diego. And the craziest thing is some of the people that were on a training just like this, you know, came from those events and succeeded. And actually, a lot of the people that you see holding up a sign has hit their first $1,000 days with this system. And the craziest thing is not only do they take the system and run with it, but sometimes the people that take our system make more money than us, right? Like some of our community members like Chris and Keegan, who we interviewed on our podcast, ended up starting to mastermind and find even new ways to take the system to the next level. And then we ended up interviewing on our podcast and how they literally did it at age 24. How insane is that, right? And the coolest thing about this is what you'll realize, your network is your net worth. And they started masterminding on even better and faster ways to take the system so that any newbie individual can make even more money. Does that make sense? And Keegan, someone in our community, has discovered a new way to apply our proven money-making system to a new, untapped, highly profitable traffic source, meaning no one knows exactly what this is right now. Right? And a few adjustments to make our proven system way easier than ever before. So people are like, oh, I don't know if I can actually do this. Guys, it has just gotten a lot easier and a lot faster to get results. And how AI robots, artificial intelligence, right, like the Terminator voice, will literally do nearly all of the hardest parts for you. And here's the craziest thing. Keegan's own results were astonishing. He was consistently doing over $30,000 per day. So remember, my height was that in a single day, and then of course it dropped down. But now he does that consistently. How insane is that, right? It's almost like, sounds so crazy when you hear this, because like just not too long ago, before all of our trainings, he was just some normal, ordinary engineer that never thought he could make more than 6 figures in a year, let alone in a month. Does that make sense? And he had not had a negative day in over 6 months. So he started sharing more people in like our community and in our masterminds, and he shared it to Ilio is literally from Afghanistan, and he is an immigrant that moved to, I think it was like Idaho or Iowa, right? So he was an immigrant that moved over to America, and in 2 months he made over 100 grand, which you could see his single best day was 31K per day. born in Afghanistan, grew up in a dangerous war-torn country, immigrated to the US with his family in 2007, and he spoke English as his third language and had an astronomical rise to 31K per day with AI-powered funnels in the most unusual way, but more on that in a minute. Because the way that he did it was impossible to believe. So literally me, Gary, and Rob had to know more. And a small group in our community decided to, mastermind together to improve upon the system, this new system that has never been done before. And together we decided to form a group of beta testers to see if this system could be replicated. Because it was great for them, but we were like, man, if the normal ordinary people can use this to go ahead and take action and get results, how amazing would that be, right? And this was the birth of the Power Cell. We literally got people in our community to just work together so they didn't have to do things alone. And you could see that we could have never expected what happened next. Because our group in under 90 days, literally 100% of our 15 beta testers got up to at least $500 profit per day, right? 13 out of the 15 got up to $1,000 profit per day. And beta testers made anywhere from 20 grand up to $1.5 million in 90 days. How insane is that, guys? Like, imagine if you just got a fraction of this. Would it be worth just taking action, right? And the daily take-home profits range from anywhere from $500, which is life-changing, to $23,000, which is also, like anybody could probably predict, life-changing. And this was a group of mostly complete newbies. So it doesn't matter if you are advanced in online marketing or if you've never touched a laptop in your life, you can make this happen as long as you pay attention and follow this system. Does that make sense? Are you guys getting this? How cool does this sound? If you guys want to know more about this, we can literally send you more and more emails on all these podcast interviews of all these normal, ordinary people that took the system to the next level. Ilya, 100 grand in 2 months. We had Greg at age 58, went from 0 to 30 grand per month. We had Dina at age 47, makes now 30 grand a month with this system. And you have a bunch of 20 and 30-year-olds literally killing it with the system. Does that make sense? So people are like, okay, well, if this is a scientific experiment and it worked, was it a success? And it was a success, guys. Now, here's 7 reasons why AI, or artificial powered funnels, as complicated as it sounds, is actually so simple and so amazing. Number 1, they have all of the best benefits of most other online business models with all of the bad stuff that you don't like. You can see results on your very first day. As insane as it is, you can get started on the side of whatever you're currently doing right now. It doesn't matter if you have a job, if you have a brick and mortar business, if you're in e-commerce or dropshipping or affiliate marketing, it doesn't matter. You could do this too. And you can scale up fast when you find a winner. You've seen some of those results going from $0 to $1,000 a day faster than they ever thought was possible, faster than anything that they've ever tried in the past. And you don't even need to be creative. You're going to find out how, these robots that we like talking about literally do all the hard work for you. And saturation and competition do not matter, okay? And why this opportunity is huge and you don't actually have to be technical. Does that make sense? So you're probably wondering, okay, Mike, well, what are AI-powered funnels and how do they actually work? And what do you actually need to get started? Well, you actually only really need 3 things. Step number 1, finding a done-for-you product that converts. How to use AI systems, get a mountain of profitable traffic or eyeballs to your website to actually make a sale, right? And how to build an automatic profit machine in under an hour with the help of AI. Now, let's actually walk you through the overview of this method. Now, of course, before we begin, you don't need to be in the US to actually do this. You don't need any special USA business setups or bank accounts, and you could literally be anywhere and never have to actually leave the house to become successful with this system. Does that make sense? So let's actually go over this. Step number 1, find a done-for-you product that converts. So one of the biggest problems I had when, I got started is like, Gary, I want to get started, but I don't have a product. How can I actually go ahead and get started? Don't I need to create a product or manufacture a product? And that sounds so expensive. And he was like, no, Mike, you don't. All you got to do is go to ClickBank. And the craziest thing is it's free to sign up. And the coolest thing about ClickBank is they've been empowering entrepreneurs for over the past 20 years. They paid over $4.2 billion out to people just like you and I, and they're in over 200 countries, right? And you can see this is how much I get paid to my bank account every single week from ClickBank. And like I said, even if you just got a fraction of this, what it would do for you, right? And you can see that some of the people in our community actually make more money than me. So you could see that when the system works, it's literally equal playing field for anybody, right? But as you can see, I'm pretty much happy for this. And how many of you guys wouldn't complain if you even just got a half of this or a quarter of this, right? And the craziest thing is it's easy to find great products. Let's actually walk you through it. All you got to do is sign up and don't worry, it's free. And then you go ahead and click on this magnifying glass. And what that does is it sorts all of the top products for you so you know exactly what is selling right now. And this number right here, this is known as a gravity score, which this essentially tells you how many people have made at least one sale in the past 30 days. So you're like, well, what can I do it? Well, guys, look at this. 549 people have made at least one sale in the past 30 days. And the BioFit one, at least 352 people have made at least one sale in the past 30 days. Many of which have actually been our community members that have seen the exact same training that you are on right now. Does that make sense? And you can see a lot of these are in the diets and weight loss and supplements and in the e-commerce space. So imagine you partnering with an e-commerce business. They do all of the work and they give you most of the profit. Does that make sense? All I got to do is click on promote, and then bam, if anyone goes ahead and makes a sale through the process that we're going to share with you today, you could literally get $175 per commission without having to do all the hard stuff. And remember that number because that's going to be very important later on. Because that's not all. This is literally the best part, okay? There's more to that. You don't need your own product. The product creator handles everything. No customer service, no inventory. You don't have to worry about returns. You can choose from thousands of already done for you products for free. They handle all the tech stuff and they get the customer results. How insane does that sound, right? And here's the strategy. You got to break down what's your income goal, right? So really think about it. Just type it in the chat box. What do you guys want to make to make sure that you never have to worry about money, your bills ever again? You know, for me, I didn't care about making millions of dollars online. I didn't care about making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I just thought, man, if I could make like $5,000 a month, you know, that would do wonders for my family. And I'm just really curious, what is your income goal? Just put it in the chat box. Because all you really got to do is just divide that number by your commission, right? And then you can scale with multiple products for free, right? If one works, why not just try one of these? And then as well as never have to ship the product, deal with customer service, which could be a hassle, or deal with inventory. And the coolest thing is you got to keep 50 to 95% of the profit. How insane does that sound, guys? Now, it's really that easy. Type in, I can do this in the chat box if you can actually see yourself doing this, because like you said, like so many people overcomplicate things when they first get started, but you can see it's a lot easier than you think. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Now here's the thing, which one do you actually think is easier? The old way, which I got started like years ago, and it was hard because I had to do product research, tech skills, testing my own products, dealing with suppliers, customer service, creating the sales process, email marketing, sales psychology, shipping logistics, inventory management, complaints and refunds. And like I said, I was an online newbie and I was overwhelmed. How many of you guys feel overwhelmed with most other old online business models, right? Say overwhelmed in the chat box. Or the new way, where you literally have online Jedis like, you know, Gary and his business partner, Rob, literally handle all of that and give you 50 to 95% profits. You literally have, for example, someone like Ernesto, who literally lost his job, was afraid to try the system because he's like, oh, I don't know if I can actually do this. I'm from Mexico. We don't have anything like this. And he literally felt like a failure to his wife and his kids because he didn't know how to provide for them. Ended up taking action and ended up making 35 grand his best week. To literally Nick, who was working a 9-to-5 job that he did not enjoy after spending, 40 grand a year for a college education to just get this job that he was using to, for example, pay as his education and his student loan debt, to literally making more in a couple days than he did in his entire month at his job, right? To literally Angelo, who is a father of two with his wife right here from Georgia. And they literally took this because everyone else didn't think that it was possible for them and everyone else counted them out, now hitting 41K his best week. To Derek, who didn't believe in himself. He's like, man, I have a wife and a daughter and I want to provide for them, but I don't know if I have the tech skills for it because I've never done anything online. To hitting 2K per days. Does that make sense? Now, which one would you rather do? The old way, which is expensive and time consuming, or the new way? The old way or the new way? The old way or the new way? Let me know in the chat box right now and just type in the new way if this is something that you could see yourself doing. Now, I want to actually introduce you to Nick because like I said, Nick was just like you. He didn't actually know if he could do this, but he ended up making a decision for himself and taking action on the very things that I'm sharing with you today.
I feel like I have an obligation in my family to take care of my family. My 9-to-5 job, these pennies that I'm making, this is not going to do it. I follow the typical path that most people do. After high school, went to college, got a degree, and I didn't grow up in a rich family. I didn't grow up in a broke family. At a certain point, though, we were pretty poor at one point. But going through that, like, I don't ever want my kids, my future wife, my parents to be in a situation where, like, I won't be able to help them. You can get to the same spot that very successful people are in. Being in this type of community, it's almost like, it's weird. I see it like it's like a secret society kind of how we have.
And you can see that he literally had $6,000 in a single day with this method. And now he actually makes more than that, right? So you can literally see what he said. The secret is the community, right? It's not because of me. It's not because of Gary. It's not because of Keegan and Chris and all the people that we've interviewed. It's because of the community and that mastermind. And you can even see Carolina, who's tried real estate and Amazon FBA in the past, and she literally started getting crazy success with this from Nicaragua, guys.
The affiliate marketing business model is one I had absolutely no idea existed. I tried many other things. I was about to get into Amazon FBA and so many other businesses. And I'm actually in the real estate business. So when I found out about a model that literally requires no inventory, requires like very little preparation as far as having to get a license, to get a business, or whatever that may be, to discover a model that allows you to be remote, literally remote. I live in Nicaragua and I'm running, selling people's products. And that's just mind-blowing that you're able to do this with a computer. There is no other business that will literally feel like you have 500 people behind you supporting you at every single step of the way. Their program is just, in one word, amazing. I had sales immediately.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I had about 40 sales within the first 5 days. It makes you really prioritize what you want in life and really find your focus and find your drive and find what passions you. And it just really justifies that, life is short and you want to be able to spend it with your loved ones and you want to be able to live your life to the fullest. And you're not going to do it behind a desk at a 9-to-5 job. It's just the reality. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Really, it's been great. It really has.
Can you imagine 40 sales in just 5 days? And you saw like the amount of commissions some of these products can allow you to do. Like, do you see why literally anybody can do this? And she's from Nicaragua, guys. So if you've been struggling, don't worry. This has literally been the answer that you have been looking for, right? So like I said, is this something that you could actually now see yourself doing? If Nick and Carolina were able to go ahead and do it, type in "I'm all in" the chat box. If you are seeing the bigger picture on what is actually possible. Because step number 2 is like, okay, well, how do I actually go ahead and create this system and get a mountain of profitable traffic at a fraction of the effort, right? Well, here's the secret. When I asked Gary, I was like, well, how would I go ahead and do this? And it changes throughout the years, right? And that's the reason why we have this community is we're literally on the cutting edge of the top ones, and what might work this year might be different. Next year might be different than the following year. But this year, there's actually one specific kind of ad that is dead simple and completely untapped that no one else is doing right now other than the people in our community. And that's YouTube. But no, that's not actually making YouTube videos where you show your face on camera and you have to be the person. We actually have robots do all the things for you. And you're going to be like a little bit amused on how that actually works, right? So you're probably wondering, well, why YouTube is the easiest and the best? Anybody can set up and run a video ad in about 5 minutes. So whenever you're watching a YouTube video and then it's like, oh, skip ad, right? And then you can just skip ad and watch your cat video, right? Well, did you know that you could actually create a YouTube ad just like that, sending to products that you don't have to create or ship yourself in the next 5 minutes or less? That's how people with no background experience can literally get started. And it literally only takes them 5 minutes to get set up. Does that make sense? And the ad is so simple, my grandmother can do it. And all you got to do is pick a topic or do broad targeting, which is essentially like, okay, Google, put this in front of these people, and Google will literally take care of everything else for you. Now, Google's machine learning is so advanced, it will find the profitable pockets for you to become extremely profitable, making it ultra simple to make money even when you're starting at smaller budgets. And that's essentially all the business model. You take this product and you take this ad and you put it in front of people. And even with a small budget, you could start profiting a lot. And then you use that profit that you make to throw it back into running more advertisements. Does that make sense? And the coolest thing is you don't have to show your face on camera. It doesn't even have to be your voice. And you can literally get robots to do it for you. I know it sounds weird, but that's literally what our community members are doing right now. And this is what's working like crazy right now for people that have never, even tried anything online before. Does that make sense? Now, YouTube is the second most visited website in the world, only behind Google, yet with fewer people are advertising there. So competition's a lot lower. And I know this because I do a lot of advertising on YouTube for like our products as well. And it's really profitable for us compared to like other things. Does it make sense? And did I mention that Google's AI machine learning algorithm is so good? They're going to be the ones that find profitable people for you to buy your products fast. Does that make sense? And you don't even need to be an expert. Just let the AI systems do all of the work for you. Does that make sense? And if you think you can't make videos, you're literally dead wrong. You don't have to show your face on camera. You don't have to be, that guy that's making videos about, certain products. Like I said, you could literally be an introvert and be hidden behind your laptop computer, never having to show your face and actually make this happen. because making videos is so easy right now. You don't need a camera. You don't need a microphone. You don't even need to be in the videos. You don't need any software on your computer, and you can have a profitable video for YouTube ads in 15 minutes or less. How insane is that? Now, let me show you how. Okay, so do you remember Ilio, who literally got to the point where you could see how fast he scaled? He went from like a couple $100 a day to then $1,000 a day to $4 grand a day to 31 grand in that day, as you could see from, his daily sales snapshot. Well, this is exactly what he ended up doing. Because listen to this. This is the most unusual way Ilio makes videos. 90% of the work of creating videos is done by AI systems, guys. The voices in the video are done with AI voices and artificial intelligence voices. So it's not even his own voice. Okay, he literally uses artificial intelligence, softwares to go ahead and do that for him. And basically all you have to do is upload a script and the software does most of the rest of the work for you. Does that make sense? If you can follow super basic instructions like what Ilio did, you can have your first video ready in under 15 minutes with zero tech skills required whatsoever. Does that make sense? And it's super fast and easy and even fun to do. I mean, this is exactly what Keegan used to do when he figured this out in our community. He first had to pay, $50 on each voiceover before he used AI systems. And he wasn't happy with the first one. So he easily spent over $1,500 on voiceover artists with the old way. He even tried using his own voices, which could sometimes take an hour each, right? And hours upon hours of figuring out video editing softwares. He even spent at least $500 on video editors before finding the method now that is almost completely automated, because AI systems will actually do the work that people used to do. Does that make sense? When they're like, oh, artificial intelligence is going to replace jobs in the futures. Well, now AI and artificial intelligence is being used by normal, ordinary people to create advertisements so they don't have to show their face on camera. Does that make sense? Now, let's actually talk about Greg. He's someone that we interviewed on our podcast, and he has an amazing story. Because not only did he go through a lot of challenges and trials and tribulations, he's 58 years old from Australia. And as you can see, he was able to hit his first 1K per day. And then a week later, hit his first 8K per day. Does that make sense? So he's a widower from Australia, father of 2 sons and 2 daughters, had gone through a lot of financial hardships in his life. I mean, I'm talking about he made a huge business and he lost that business. And he got some success and he lost some success. And he never could get anything stable. How many of you guys can actually relate? And you're like, man, if I could only get something stable online, that would be doing wonders for me and my family. And he says, well, I'm not a creative person in any shape or form, but was surprised the tech setup was easy and creating video ads was actually fun to do. And had his first $8,000 a day within 4 to 5 weeks of starting. So you could see, just imagine 4 to 5 weeks from now, even if you got a fraction of that, even if you got like $4,000, and half of that, would it actually be worth it? Does that make sense? Right? And now he actually regularly gets $25,000 checks on a weekly basis because you actually get paid weekly. Now, at the end of the day, it wasn't that hard to follow the bouncing ball. Build the videos and away you go. And it takes no time at all to put the ad up. And then you just sit back and wait and don't touch anything, says Greg. And you'll even have Les Denton, right? Les, look at this. When Les experienced her breakthrough, she said that first week took me from $0 to $19,000. And when you have that type of money coming in, the type of change you can make for people is incredible. It's like I was giving myself permission to live again, to come back to life. How many guys actually want to come back to life? Say I want to come back to life and live again in the chat box below, right? And she literally used it to pay off her mortgage and then got a second home paid in full with her commissions. Now check that out. 19 grand her first week doing this. Now, if you got 10% of Les's results, that's $1,900 in 7 days. How many guys wouldn't complain? Type in, I wouldn't complain in the chat box, or just nod your head, right? As you feel this, because if she can do this, why can't you? And you literally have Bonnie. She started at the age of 62. She didn't even own a laptop, much less know how to use it. And all the other ways she's tried making money online seemed way too complicated, and she constantly felt overwhelmed and had no idea where to start. She was able to stick to this 3 simple steps, and at the age of 62, made 160 grand in the next 90 days. Are you guys getting how just simple and forgiving this is, even if you don't have that much experience, or even if you don't believe in yourself? Because even if you failed completely, and only got 10% of what Bonnie, a 62-year-old grandmother, made, that's still 16 grand in 90 days. How many of you guys wouldn't mind an extra 16 grand in 90 days, right? And just let me know in the chat box if that's something that you could see and feel yourself doing, because let's actually hear what Bonnie has to say herself.
I always felt like I had an important role when I worked for IBM, when I worked for corporate America. And when that was stripped away from me, I really felt, a loss there. I had spent $70,000 over 6 years on other programs that did not make me any money. And, but that was the beauty of this program. I knew immediately that it was brilliant. It took me about 3.5 months before I had my breakthrough. I took the leap of faith when I found my winning ad, and it changed my life. Once I got to that point, Gary, I was making at least $5,000 profit, up to $17,000 profit on the weekends. And that is insane. It was incredible. We've got, we're just a repository of data. There's probably no other mastermind anywhere, because of all the collective knowledge, the collective data that, exactly. We know it's working, we know it's not working.
Now remember this, your network is your net worth. I know you hear this over and over and over again, but as you notice from all these people, it's all about the community. It's all about the community and the group of people that are willing to work together. And if you feel alone and you're like, man, this doing things alone seems really, really hard, don't worry, because you could see that once you join a community like this, you could start getting results faster than you ever thought was possible. Does that make sense? Right now, how many guys would actually want the software that they use to go ahead and create these video ads? Type in "I do," like we're getting married, in the chat box. Because like I said, when you stay until the end, you're going to find out how you could get, those 7 free bonuses that are going to do all of like the sales and marketing for you. All of the hard work that you're like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. You stay until the end, and you're going to get all of the 7 free bonuses. You're going to find out how to qualify for those 7 free bonuses. Does that make sense? Now let's actually go over step number 3, how to build an automatic profit machine in under an hour with the help of AI. So how you build a profit machine is simple in three easy steps in under an hour, right? You have the video, which is what we talk about, the splash page, which will do all of like the sales and marketing for you, right? And remember, when you stay until then, we're literally going to give you several splash pages for free, as well as the money offer, which we've shown you exactly where to get it. Does it make sense? Now, the money offer is simple. It's important to choose the right money offer to promote, because they will do all of the hard work of turning your traffic, or the eyeballs, that's what traffic means, just eyeballs that are on the internet, into profit into your pocket. And the best thing you could do is to know someone who knows which offers are most powerful right now. So the reason why this community is so valuable is because, we'll literally tell someone else, be like, oh, this product is actually making me the most money. And everyone else is like, okay, let's actually promote that product, right? And there's no guesswork when you know. So choosing the right offer doesn't take much time, as long as you know the right people to ask, which literally takes just 5 minutes, right? Now, the splash page is also needed for proper sales and persuasion tactics, but this is easy because we use the same templates for every splash page. And remember, when you stay until then, we're literally going to give you guys some of the top splash pages for free. Okay. Now, as long as you include the most important elements, the splash page will work fine and make money. And the main thing is to be consistent and use templates that have already been proven to work. And don't worry, because the people that are in a community and the people that stay until the end will literally get some of our top splash pages when they qualify for free. Does that make sense? And with the proper templates, anybody can build a good splash page in about 10 minutes with 0 tech skills. How insane does that sound? As well as the video. I mean, creating the video is now fast and easy with AI tools. You just need a script that has the proper sales and persuasion tactics to include, and we'll even share with you how we find those scripts. And through a lot of testing, Keegan has discovered exactly what works best with video scripts to make you the maximum profits. Now, all of the beta testers that you've seen have literally used Keegan, who was also someone in our community members, the scripts and templates to achieve success. And the script is the #1 key to success. Every other step in the profit machine is easy if you have a good video script. That's all you got to think about. Remember, this isn't complicated. This isn't hard. If you have a script, everything else is already automated and done for you, because all the AI technology will just do the work for you. Does that make sense? Now, important, with the help of AI tools and the right script, you can easily make your first video in under 30 minutes with 0 tech skills or creativity required. And all it takes is one good video to experience all of the results that you've been seeing from our 15 beta testers. Does that make sense? Type in "that makes sense" in the chat box. And thanks to AI video tools, all you really need to get is one good video, is the right script. All you need, you're just literally one script and one video away. Are you guys getting this? Nod your head and say, I'm getting this in your mind, right? Because then you have Gabe's story. Gabe's someone else that I interviewed on my podcast as well. And he's married, and he's also a father of 6 kids from Salt Lake City, Utah. And he did all kinds of door-to-door jobs and manual labor, you name it, he's done it. And he knew none of those jobs would bring generational wealth for him and his family. and he had a tendency to overcomplicate things. But because Keegan's profit machine system made it so simple, right? This is literally what he said. I admit that when it comes to online courses, I have a tendency to overcomplicate things. I have to put my own spin on things. And then I tried the route, and only when Keegan advised me is about following his formula and script templates and make it simple on myself was when I started seeing my results, and that came quickly after that. And you can see this. I found a winning campaign and scaled to only 5 days, hit my 1K day. Then you can throw up a campaign in 1 to 2 days, which, you know, if it's just like a winner, you don't waste weeks or months like on other ad platforms, because within a few weeks, I hit my first 5-figure day. I've never had this much success at such a rapid pace before. And I've been at it for only a few months, and it's so incredible to wake up each morning, checking my stats and feeling like I'm on track. How many of you guys feel like behind in life and you see other people making the money and the income that you want and you feel behind? Imagine what it would feel like to wake up every morning, seeing the sales that are literally in your dashboard and feeling that you are on track to where you actually want to be and the life that you actually want to deserve. Type in, I want to be on track in the chat box right now. You also even have Victoria. Let's actually hear what Victoria has to say.
I've been living in Long Beach for about 14 years. I've struggled. I've had other businesses. I kind of like went around in circles doing other things, and always been kind of on the fence about like financially, like either just surviving or trying to get into a better situation. But I want all this beauty in my life and this goodness in my life, and I deserve it, and I want it to stay, and I don't want to struggle anymore. I had always been struggling or fighting, or like anytime something had come up to a certain level of success, I killed it. I've paid off friends that have lent me money in the past. I've paid off back taxes from a bad business deal I got into. I've paid down like, you know, student loans. I paid back. It's like, it's just crazy. Like I'm just in a different place where I'm not stuck anywhere. So it's like really cool. So I feel gratitude. I feel in awe, I guess. I feel awe. I built the life that I've always wanted, basically. For the first time, I can say I have my own 2-bedroom apartment with my dog on the beach. It's amazing. I feel amazing.
And you also have, you know, someone like Ernesto. So check out Ernesto's story.
I come from the IT industry, the telecommunications industry. I worked there for about 22 years. I went on a vacation to Chicago to run a marathon, and when I came back, my boss told me I was fired, and it was the first time it happened in my career. I knew all the family depended on me. After so many months of setbacks, of failures, of not finding a regular job or not being successful with my income, I was developing internal fears. I felt I was completely failing to my wife, because I felt the situation was too hard for me. I realized I could still make a change in my life. June 2018, when my wife saw an email from ClickBank, I got excited about it, and we both saw your presentation with Rob. We started running ads. I started to make success. One sale here and there, that gave me confidence. That's when I achieved my breakthrough. It felt like magic, far beyond my initial expectations.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Gary.
I appreciate you sharing your
Thank you very much, Gary.
Get in there.
How insane is that? And that's literally recorded in one of like our events that we run for example, whenever we have people in our community like get together, we like doing that for our community members, because we know that, you know, getting around these people really gives you energy to really just, you know, succeed in life. Right now, so many people are asking, well, how long does this take? Well, our top students started off with only 30 minutes per day. And if you don't have 30 minutes per day, you literally don't have a life, right? You might have other problems. So as long as you have 30 minutes a day, you can actually start making this happen for yourself. And you're probably wondering, well, how do I get paid? You either get paid weekly by check or direct deposit. Some people are old fashioned that way and they want the check. Me, I prefer direct deposit. I'm really curious. What do you guys want? Let me know in the chat box and what you would actually feel would like. Would you like waking up, going to the mailbox and seeing a check? Or would you like waking up, logging into your bank account and just seeing, oh, look, a direct deposit that just comes in every single week? Let me know. Now, I want you to think of every way that you're currently trying or have tried to make money online. Do you think that doing this instead of what you're currently doing is likely to yield a better result? Now, are you willing to promise me that you'll do this instead the next time the situation comes up? Do you swear to me? Do you pinky promise? Type in I pinky swear if you are serious. And remember, people that break pinky swears go to hell. So I see pinky swear, I pinky swear, I pinky swear. It's just like a wall of I pinky, I pinky, I pinky, I pinky swear. Awesome, guys. So like I said, here are the student results with this system. As you guys have seen, all these people were literally just like you that didn't believe it, that didn't understand it, that didn't think that they could actually do it because they did not have any tech savviness. And all they did was they're like, okay, let me just piggyback on the major trend and use a system that works. How many guys here either want to do things on your own or you just would rather piggyback on the trend that works? Type in I piggyback in the chat box, right? I piggyback, I piggyback, I piggyback. Okay, here's some common questions. Do you need to be in the USA? No. Do you need a huge budget to start? No. Do you need to be tech savvy? No. You can literally skip all of the common problems with most online business models because we've been constantly perfecting and updating the system over the past 12 months to make it the simplest and fastest way to grow online big time with the lowest risk and highest profit potential. It's brand new this year and better than ever. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you guys enjoying this so far? Let me know in the chat box. Because thus far, do you feel comfortable harnessing the power of these simple techniques to make some extra money today? Type in I in the chat box. Were you happy you came to the webinar today? Say, I'm happy that I came to the webinar today. And do you realize the advantage you have in the market by using these cutting edge techniques to make money? And can you actually see yourself and feel yourself using what I showed you to even make an extra $5,000 per month in your spare time? I mean, you saw so many other people do it, so why can't you, right? And why not now? And even if you just use a tiny fraction of what I showed you, would you say our time was well spent today? Type in our time was well spent. And would you like to spend even more time together, going even deeper and further on how to make more money while working less time? Type in I want to spend more time going even deeper. And let me actually ask you a question. Are you guys ready to take things to the next level? Because we had multiple choices. We're like, okay, we could literally give you as much as we can in this training, which is good, but most people will just go ahead on their own and try things on themselves and fail. Or we could take a more, invested approach where we come in and work with you even closely so that you succeed. And when you succeed, we succeed, and together we succeed together in our community. And you want to find out how to actually join our community, because now is the time to build a life-changing real business. And like I said, you have two paths. Go at it alone, which is doable, but you have some bumps in the road and you'll need to do a lot of trial and error, and it will take you longer, probably much longer, because 24 months, that's how long it took me to make my first $100,000 while working a 9-hour day job that I hated, getting up at 4 a.m. every morning to build my online business through trial and error, to 6 to 12 weeks. This is literally the time it takes our most dedicated students to hit $100,000 a year run rates when nothing else would work for them. Like you see from Nick or Ernesto or Ellie, who actually had an unplanned pregnancy during this. And he's like, I don't know if I could do this. This is poor timing. Like, nothing screams poor timing than an unplanned pregnancy, but he knew that he couldn't afford not to do this. And now you can see in the last 4 months, he made 49 grand. To Jonathan, who was at a customer service job where he didn't feel like he was being treated the best and he was undervalued. So you could see his best day was $6,900 in a single day. To Angelo, to Derek, to even Sam and Raj. Now, these are two brothers from India, and they only had $200 a month to go ahead and make this work, right? So for people that are like, oh, I don't have the money, guys, they're from India. They didn't have the money, okay? So they changed their mindset when they joined the community and went on to make over 350 grand in the first 3 months. And now they average about $2,800 per day, over 1 million per year. How insane does it sound? Are you guys getting how powerful this system is, and why? Even if you're like, well, Mike, this system, I don't know if I have the money for this. Guys, Sam and Raj did not have the money, and now they do have the money. Does that make sense? And it's all about being able to follow in the footsteps of people who've already done what you want to do is one of the fastest paths to success. Does it make sense? And you can start building a real business today. Doesn't matter what you are currently doing right now, you could do this as well. If it's affiliate marketing, Kindle, selling on Amazon, real estate like Carolina, info products, AdSense, multi-level marketing, CPA, if you have a brick and mortar, or if you're just working a 9-to-5 job, you could do this as well. If you give us 30 minutes, we'll give you the system and the community that will help support you. Does that make sense? Right? And like I said, we've sold millions online over the past decade. But what really inspires us to keep driving forward at the cutting edge of online business is helping amazing people like you to get life-changing results. And hearing heartwarming messages from our students and even getting on these podcasts and interviewing them never gets old when I hear somebody that literally saw training like this and went from $0 to $30,000 a month in 5 to 6 weeks. Does that make sense? Because our students have sold tens of millions online over the past couple of years, right? Like we literally called, ClickBank and we're like, how much money have our students made? And they're like, dude, over 30 to 50 million. And I was like, what? Our students? What? From our community members, right? And many of these people were just like you. They did not believe it. They did not understand it. They did not think that it was possible for them, but they took action because they knew for things to change, they needed to take change to join the system and the community to make things happen. And all these people that were just like you went from zero to breaking their limiting beliefs and their fear of failure and their overwhelm and their anxiety to making their first $1,000 a day when nothing else would work for them. Does that make sense? And you can see Les paid off her mortgage in cash. Nick hit his first 6-figure month milestone. My entire life, I never had any money, but I wasn't going to let that stop me from hitting my goals. I can't believe I was afraid to lose money with this. Ernesto with 35 grand his best week. To Angelo, a 13-day spree of 87 grand in sales. Derek, I was afraid I did not have the ability to succeed when starting out, but with this system, I was able to make over $237,000 in sales last year and spend more time with my family. To Ellie, with an unplanned pregnancy, timing was not the best, but with this system, I hit my first 1K per day. And I was the worst with commuters and found them intimidating, but because of this system, I was able to pay off my daughter's student loan debt, Bonnie, and we were living off of only $200 per month for the entire family. With this system, we bought over $350,000 in sales in 3 months. It works for anybody. No barrier of entry, no experience required, no ongoing costs, no content costs, no SEO, no technical issues, no upfront costs, no glass ceilings, able to go from $10 a day to $100 a day to $1,000 a day or more in 60 days or less. All you have to do is follow the proven formula. Does that make sense? And we want you to be the next success story. We are certain that you could go ahead and do it. So what we've done is put together a complete package of training, tools, handholding support, and for the first time, we'll actually do it for you. We're giving you everything that you need to change your life with this business starting today. And when you stay until then, you're going to find out how to get 7 free bonuses that we're literally going to give you for free when you stay until the end. Does that make sense? And that's why I'm so happy to introduce you to Profit Singularity. And what it is a step-by-step system for complete beginners to go from zero to consistent $1,000 days in 8 weeks or less while only working 30 minutes per day. And here's what Profit Singularity System will do for you. Unlimited family time, a secure retirement, to be your own boss and work from home. Or maybe you want to have your husband or wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend have them quit their job so you can do what you love. To give your kids or your future kids the opportunities you've never had. You get the financial freedom you've always wanted, the location freedom to be where you want to be, and ultimately the time freedom to live your life on your own terms. Because everything we've discussed is just phase 1. And in the first 8 weeks, you'll be able to find out how people in our community were able to do this, or this, or this, or this, or this, and how you can even start breaking through all of your negative beliefs and getting to profit faster than you ever thought was possible. Does that make sense? And we'll literally guide you through the system. To game changer number 1, the pre-launch training blueprint. This is a top secret recipe that shows you how to build an insanely lucrative business in under 60 days. Everything you need from A to Z to get started fast. This is your key to the other side. And it's exactly how you can start experiencing the same success and freedom as our super affiliate mentors and students. Phase number 1, injecting cash flow, where you're able to go from $0 to $274 a day in 60 days. Phase number 2, income automation. Leverage ninja tactics to double, triple, or quadruple your income, all while working less. Autopilot income. And phase number 3, strategic expansion. Focus on scalability and turning your lucrative business into an empire, right? To game changer number 2, the $1 million advertising psychology formula, right? You get access to our Stripe file of all ads that have used to actually create millions of dollars in sales. These are actually $1 million ads. So you're going to see exactly what's proven to work. And no one ever shows you this kind of stuff. Get the exact ads that have sold millions. And this actually took us 200 grand to go ahead and develop. This is why it's valued at $49.97. Does that make sense? to game changer number 3, creating your $1 million ad system. How anyone can create $1 million ads even if you have no experience with AI technology. Okay, hit a run rate of $500 a day revenue in the next 60 days with just this proven formula. And how to turbocharge your advertising setup so you can get started and seeing income in as little as 48 hours of being live because of the artificial intelligence that we use in creating the $1 million ad system. Does that make sense? We've literally invested 75 grand in testing to create this AI system technology, and that's why it's valued at $99.97. To the ultimate pre-sale master training, how to leverage mini AI robots to do all the selling for you that works without your permission. Copy and paste our pre-sale techniques that are already proven to get complete newbies from $0 to $1,000 a day run rates without the technical skills. And the complete manual for selling products online without you having to do any convincing, which is perfect for introverts, helping you get results faster and easier. To game changer number 5, launching your $1 million ad blueprint. Our hold your hand system that requires 0 tech skills or creative skills to launch. The simple process our students use to effortlessly manage their advertising without spending much time on their laptop. And how to launch ads without the confusion or the intimidation that normally comes with a new business idea. And how to become a master at advertising without losing money. Now, this blueprint saves you time. It eliminates costly errors and ultimately makes you money. Does that make sense? Are you guys getting this? As well as game changer number 6, testing and scaling system. So our 30-minute per day system to hit your first 6 figures online with artificial intelligence, how to turn $5 into $1,000 a day side hustle without the intimidation and confusion that comes with advertising platforms, and how to create evergreen advertisements to give you long-term stable and reliable income for years to come. This removes all the risks and makes you more money, and it's valued at $29.97. As well as the next level accelerator, the complete blueprint to even how grandmothers with no tech experience go from 1K days to like more in under 42 days, and how to make more money in your spare time than you did working full-time at a job or a career or your old brick and mortar business, to how to safely scale the next level without risk of losing money, and how to grow a business without any business experience. You get to scale, profit, and finally, for the first time ever, relax as you make money. Does that make sense? And the results with this system is insane. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what coaching is really worth? So Gary normally charges $15,000 each year for students to attend a weekend of coaching in a small group. And I actually spent $5 grand to be put in front of Gary. And our super affiliate mentors like Keegan and Chris and all the other people that you've seen are earning tens of thousands of dollars per month with this, and they could easily charge $5,000 per month minimum. And you're getting access to all of this and more. Now, the Profit Singularity System development costs, literally over the past 18 months, the $1 million pre-sale center took 200 grand to develop. The $1 million swipes took 75 grand to develop. The pre-launch blueprint took 57 grand to develop, and the testing and scaling system took 150 grand to develop. Total development costs was $482,000. And this does not include the hundreds of thousands of dollars we've personally spent on over 2 years of testing and hundreds of hours we spent developing this. Does this make sense? Now, this is extremely limited, and our personal time is being invested supporting members. And we have an amazing team of coaches, but our time and our coaches' time are very limited. And we have a limited number of money-making products, and we can't bring in thousands of members. The spaces will fill up fast. Now, we will shut down when we hit capacity, just like we always do. And we have no plans to ever reopen. This will not be available for long. We've not reopened any of our last 2 training programs. When the doors close, they are closed. Now, this has the potential to change your life, so do not miss out on this. Because this is immense value, but you won't pay $18,988. You won't pay $14,997, but $9,997. Let's just say this, okay? If all this does is allow you to clear your debts and pay your rent and mortgage every month, would this be worth paying $9,997 for? If all this did is set you up comfortably for retirement, would this be worth paying $99.97 for? If all this did is give you an extra $5K per month for the foreseeable future, would this be worth spending $9,997 for? Because think about this, you're not gonna have to spend this much money, but just imagine for some of these people, right? Like Bonnie, like Les, like Greg, like Ilyo. If you were to ask them, like for example, Les that hit $19,000 in her first week, she would have already doubled her money. Does that make sense? So if that was the case, and if all this did was put you in Les's shoes, in Bonnie's shoes, in Nick's shoes, in Ernesto's shoes, would it actually be worth it? Type in, this would be worth it in the chat box right now. Because what's one successful video ad worth to you? Remember, some of these videos, just one video ad could get you to 3K per month, 10K per month, even more. Some of these people are hitting their first $1,000 a day with one successful video ad, right? How much would you get paid to, for example, get one perfect video ad? Remember, I spent 5K to be just put in front of Gary so I know how to create like better ads, right? And you could see how much it did for me, but what would it be worth for you? Because here's the reality. We can agree that if you had a time machine and could go 8 weeks in the future where you already had just one video ad bringing you 6 figures profits online, you could see it firsthand and you could feel it coming in every single day. You would have no issue and no problem putting down $99.97 today if you knew your future with that type of certainty. But it doesn't work like that in the real world, though, does it? Well, today it actually does, because this is ridiculous value, but you won't have to pay $99.97. You won't even have to pay $49.97. The total investment, by the way, for the general public, when we do release to the general public, is 4 installments of $9.97 or $34.97. But because you've been with us for the past 60 minutes, and I know how serious you are in investing in yourself and in your future, when you sign up today in the special link below, we will knock off one of the installments so you get started for 3 installments of $99.97 today. In fact, when you sign up today, you can get started for even less, because all you got to do when you go to the button, which should pop up right now, is just go to the link below, make your investment, and you get an even $494 discount, which is available. So you could get an instant payment discount. So all you got to do to get started is get started for $24.97 today. And we are 100% committed to your success, and we'll do whatever it takes for as long as it takes for you to succeed. Again, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can literally try it risk-free. Literally just go ahead and sign up right now, because if you don't make money, then we don't want yours. Does that make sense? And we're so certain that you will absolutely fall in love with the Profit Singularity System. We're putting our money where our mouth is. Try it out risk-free for 30 days, and we promise you will absolutely love it, or we will refund every single penny, no hassles, no problems, and we'll still stay friends. Does that make sense? And for people that are like, well, Mike, I don't know, I don't have the money. How can I get started? $24.97, that's a lot. Well, one of the people, what a lot of people do that don't have the money, that started hitting their first $1,000 a day because they knew that they couldn't afford not to do this. Because at first they're like, well, like, I don't know if I have the money. Like, I don't know if I can afford this. And then they start thinking, they're like, well, I can't afford not to do this. Right? I can't afford not to start getting started in this. Well, then they get started, for example, with PayPal credit, because they could get started for free and pay no interest for 6 months and get started with this 6 months later. Does that make sense? Right? And all you got to do is go ahead and sign up for it in the link below or in the button that popped up, and just go ahead and click on that button right now. And you can apply for PayPal credit, invest nothing today, get started with the Profit Singularity System today, and you get to take care of the webinar only discount, $24.97 within 6 months at no extra cost. So guys, when you literally see the people that are coming into this and you're like, well, I don't know if, I have the money. Guys, most people that actually get started with this, they do not have the money. They're kind of like in this, fearful situation where they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I should do this. But remember, they're like, I couldn't afford not to do this. Does this make sense? And by far the best money I've ever spent. You can see Jonathan, Tammy, and Nick go ahead and do this. Les Denton went on and said she literally went from 0 to 19 grand in 7 days. And she was able to go ahead and create change for herself. And the craziest thing for people that are just getting started, when you are one of the first 30 people in, for the people that are like, oh, well, what about the bonuses and whatnot? While this is limited special offer is available, when you sign up at the link below, you will get the following special bonuses for free, like what we went and talked about. Now, these bonuses are only available for the first 30 people who are on this call right now, because we understand that the people that get the most results are the ones that take action. The ones that are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to think about it or whatnot. How you do anything is how you do everything, right? And as you can see, everybody that you see on the screen now holding up that 1K per day, reward that we give them when they hit their first 1K per day, they were the ones that took action. Does that make sense? They were the ones that are like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, but they felt this like nervous butterflies in their feelings. And that feeling, by the way, is normal to everyone else that has hit their first 1K per day online, that were just like you on the other side, that were just a little bit nervous to go ahead and take action and make the investment in themselves. Does that make sense? Which is why we created a bonus for the first 30 that take action right now, because we know that the faster you take action, the more results you're more likely going to get. Does that make sense? Now, when the timer expires, you will no longer be able to get these bonuses for free. Does that make sense? Now, bonus number 1 is the instant video script generator. You can create weight loss scripts, which are supplement scripts, dental scripts, vision scripts, and so much more. And you can also get rid of expensive copywriters, expensive copywriting courses, hours of writing in front of a computer, wasted time and money using scripts that don't work. Creating winnable, profitable video scripts will now be a piece of cake. Remember, you are just one video script away, and you can see exactly how this was able to work. Does that make sense? And we're giving it to you for 6 months for free. Does that make sense? Now, here are your bonuses for signing up today, and all of it is valued at $49.97. But again, what else do you need? Right? Well, you're probably wondering, well, I need more stuff about like the artificial intelligence. What if we give you an AI voice software? Does that make sense? So you have no need to record voiceovers or pay expensive voiceover artists. This software will generate ready to go voiceovers for you at one click of a button. So remember when you're like, oh, I don't know if to create ads, or I don't know if I want to show myself on camera. This is literally what will do the work for you. Does that make sense? Now, remember Nick, someone that we've introduced you earlier on? Well, he was also someone that was in the beta tester group, and what happened was even crazier. He ended up breaking his last 12-month record. He actually made $1.5 million in 3 months with this system and with these bonuses. I kept it simple and did exactly what I was taught. I got sales on my first day of running an ad. I'm just blown away at how smart the AI is in dialing in my campaigns. It does most of the hunting for you. Within my first month, I had my first 20K day, 30K day, and even 40K per day. And in the last 3 months, I've done 1.5 million in sales. And if you want this badly enough, then don't let anything get in your way. I promise you, if you put faith in this method and keep moving forward, it's only a matter of time before you start seeing results. To even Ryan Dewey, who made 123 grand in 5 weeks with 67 grand in profit. So how much did he like double, triple, quadruple, 10x his money? Does that make sense? 20x his money. I would describe myself as not creative, and I've never run paid ads before like this. And I've never made money like this in my entire life. And I don't think I could have seen this coming. Some days it seriously feels like I'm printing money. To Dina, I'm a happily married mother of 2 living in Northern California, and the idea of shifting gears to something new was a bit intimidating. And we talked about this a lot on my podcast, right? But I soon found it much easier than I anticipated. And I've only been in the group for about a month, right? In this community, but I've already broken my 1K profit day. And I feel like I'm only getting started. This system is the vehicle that finally allowed me the balance I needed between being a working mom and enjoying time with my girls before they go off to college. Now I don't have to sacrifice my time with my family. Does that make sense? Now, who this works for, young and old, men and women, English as a second language, US or non-US citizens, non-technical people, non-creative people, creative or complete newbies, this works for people from all different backgrounds. And all you got to do is go up and sign up for it in the link or just click on the button right now. And here are all the bonuses you get today when you sign up when you were one of the first 30. Again, you're probably wondering, well, what else do you need? We're going to give you 3 free websites for 1 year. So many people were like, well, you know, I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how to go ahead and do it. Well, what if we just did it for you, right? And you literally get all of that valued at $97.94 for free when you sign up today. Because if all this did was just remove all of the guesswork, all the technical work, all of the, complicated stuff, and allow you to start hitting your first 1K per day faster than if you were going to do it alone, would it actually be worth it? Are you guys getting this? Now, probably wondering what else do you need? Remember, the splash page templates are very, very important, and we've crafted and tested so many different ones. But what if we were just to give you the exact same splash pages so you could get results faster and easier without the hassle and the complication of all the tech stuff, right? We're literally going to give you away, like what we talked about, for free when you go ahead and sign up today when you are one of the first 30. And even though, like, the crazy thing, I'm like looking at the notification right now, even though we are not finished with all the bonuses right now, we are at about like 50% capacity. And remember, we can't give this to everybody because of the fact that, it takes money to go ahead and run all of these things. So we could only be able to give some of these away for a limited amount. So make sure you take action right now as we're going over the rest of the bonuses, as well as like the money-making products. You've literally heard Bonnie's story, right? Bonnie went from 0 to 160 grand in 90 days. And the reason why is because she had no guesswork. She was like, oh, well, what products do I go ahead and promote? Well, what if you go ahead and use these money-making products that are the top ones right now? And we just tell them, right? And this thing will literally remove all of the guesswork. So by the time you literally sign up for it in the link below, go in, check in the welcome like video and whatnot. You will know exactly the money-making products that will make you your first 1K per day. Where 5 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now, you can literally wake up and look in, your dashboard and all of your commissions that are coming in because you know exactly the products to go and promote. And all of these are literally, total value 12,788, right? And you're probably wondering, well, what else do you need? And wait, there's more, right? The $1 million video ad vault. Remember, there's certain video ads that do well other than others. Well, what if we just gave you the ones that are working right now? That's why all this is valued at $15K, and we're literally giving it to you for free. And last but not least, 300K in 14-day case study. Remember this, when you sign up today for $24.97 and you get in and you see exactly what the community member is all about of, getting access to all of these things, right? If you even just got a fraction of what this case study will allow you to do, the step-by-step process, which would be then 30K in 14 days, you'd essentially 10x your money right then, right there, right? So if not now, then when? If not you, then who? Because the timing for this is perfect because of what we have for you when you sign up and get all of these bonuses for free. Because remember, even if you got a fraction of what this case study did for some of the normal people that came in, would it actually be worth taking action and signing up right now? Does it make sense? And remember, you get all these bonuses for free when you sign up, but do not wait, because if you wait any longer, you could miss out on the opportunity of the lifetime, in the lifetime of the opportunity. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not asking you to decide yes or no today. I'm asking you to make a fully informed decision, that is all. And the way you can make a fully informed decision is on the inside, not the outside. So you get on the inside, you see everything that we say on this webinar is true and valuable to you. Then if it is, then that's when you decide to keep it. If it's not for you, no hard feelings. Because you will then, after signing up for it, in link below, be able to make a fully informed decision that this isn't for you. But you can't make that decision right now for the same reason you don't buy a house without first looking inside of it. Does that make sense? And know this, whether it's 29 minutes from now or 29 days from now, if you ain't happy, we ain't happy. And for any reason whatsoever, if you want your money back, you can get it back, because we only want to keep your money if you're happy. Does that make sense? And all you have to do is go to the email in the support tab in your student portal and just tell us, give me my money, and you'll get it. And fast too, because our support team is available 24/7. So you really only have two no risk options today. Number one, which is the first no risk option, you don't get into it at all, which, then you, for example, save the $24.97. But I don't think that's going to get you to where you want to go, right? And I don't think you could actually even afford not doing something like this. Like, for example, Bonnie could not afford not to do this, because then look at all the opportunity costs that she ended up making that she could have missed out on if she didn't take action. To the second no risk opportunity, which is actually signing up for it today, either using PayPal credit or not, getting started with it. And if you don't succeed, guess what? You get your money back. If you do succeed, you make all of your money back, right? And I think that second option will actually get you to where you want to go. And that's time freedom, money freedom, location freedom. Does that make sense? And both of those options you have today. But like I said, the first one will not get you to where you want to be because you didn't take action on this opportunity. Does that make sense? Now, you can make such a guarantee when you are confident that you have a real deal. That's the only reason why we could go ahead and do this. And we're fairly confident that when you sign up below, you'll get exactly what you need to make $1,000 a day profits as a complete beginner in the next 8 weeks or less, like what all of the people in our community has been doing for themselves. Does that make sense? Remember, the 15 beta testers, 13 out of those 15 hit $1,000 a day profits. All 15 hit $500 a day profit within as little as 90 days. And if they could do it, why can't you? Remember, Greg, 58 years old, Dina, 47 years old, people like Ilio that were immigrants that made $100,000 in 2 months. If they can do it, why can't you? And why not right now? Sign up for it in link below. Do not wait any longer. Spaces are filling up fast and are only available on a first come, first time served basis. And we have a very limited number of people that we can help. So you need to move fast or you will miss out. And warning, the registration period is ending soon. If you visit the URL below and see sold out, then sorry, you've literally missed out. And by waiting just one more day to register, you risk letting technical issues, life, or anything else get in your way. Now, once the registration period ends, that's it. 0 extra people will be allowed in. Last time we had people begging us to let them in, and they've still been waiting and have been waiting for the past 10 long months. Now, here's what you got to do right now. Go to the URL below, log into the private members area, get started with the pre-class material. Don't wait another second. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why the Singularity System? Time. Condense your learning curve from years into just 8 weeks. Remember, imagine if all this did 8 weeks from now, you wake up, right? Imagine where you're waking up. What are you doing? You look at your phone, you look at your laptop, you see the amount of sales that you know deep down could give you the freedom that is that you wanted. And you're like, wow, you look back 8 weeks ago when you were on a call with me and you're like, man, I'm so glad that even though I felt a little bit of nervousness, even though I felt a little bit of fear and I was on the fence, I'm so glad I took action because now my life has forever changed. And I'm so grateful for, giving this life to the people that I care about and the look on their face when I tell them that we have finally created ultimate freedom for ourselves, right? All in just 8 weeks or less. Like what Les did to go from 0 to 19 grand, right? So she turned $24.97 to 19 grand in that first week, right? To Sam and Raj, who only had $200 per month, like for the people that go out and don't have the money, to making 350 grand the first 3 months, to Bonnie at age 62, making 160 grand in 90 days. Do you think if you were Bonnie or if you were Les or if you were Raj and you did not have the money and you had this only chance to go ahead and sign up for it today, that even if you didn't have the money that you almost couldn't afford not to do this with the results that was possible for them? Right? If they could have a time machine and go back in time, even if they didn't have the money, it didn't matter if it was PayPal credit or a credit card, they knew that they could not afford not to do this because they would be in a lot of pain going through the same life, always struggling about money and never creating the freedom for themselves. Now remember, you get all these today when you sign up for it in the link below. And for those that stuck around, here's a complete list of the profitable products to sell online. Don't do it now. Just literally screenshot this because you don't want to miss a Q&A. So screenshot the link right now or just go to mikevestil.com/131 niches to go ahead and get started with all of that. But let's actually go over a Q&A. I'm literally just going to get someone on my team to go ahead and populate all the things on the screen so that we could just go ahead and go over the top common Q&As over the past hour or so. So the first question that I get is, I want to get in, but it's a big investment. And I understand you. I get you, complete you. And I completely understand you, right? When I first got into, like, for example, the Tony Robbins event, several thousands of dollars was a lot for me, right? It was a lot for me. But I knew that I needed to get into that event because I knew that I needed to create a change for myself because I knew for me to change, I needed to get into an environment that could change, into a community that could change. I'm so glad I did that. Or when I, for example, spent $5K to literally be put in front in the same room as Gary, right? I was like, oh man, I'm afraid of spending this money. And I was looking at the money in my bank account and I was like, should I put it on a credit card or not? And I was afraid, right? But I knew that if I wanted things to change, I had to get out of my comfort zone. And that's what I saw it as. It was an investment. I was like, okay, I'm gonna invest $5K to be put in front of Gary and his system. But instead of worrying about what I could lose, I started thinking about what I could actually make, right? And I started having a fear of missing out. Well, if I don't do this right now, how many more years and decades will I face where, $5,000 will be a problem? And I knew that even though I couldn't afford to do it, I couldn't afford not to do it. And I ended up doing it as well. And that's what completely changed my life. Because I had a great mentor told me one time, he was like, Mike, if $24.97 is a problem, you go to bed tonight and you wake up tomorrow, is it still be a problem? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, when you go to bed tonight and you wake up, is it still gonna be a problem? I'm like, yeah. And do you go to bed and you wake up tomorrow, is it still gonna be a problem? I was like, yeah, it's always gonna be a problem. And he's like, well, when your parents, when they go to bed tonight and they wake up, is $24.97 a problem? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, how about when they go to bed again the next night and they wake up, is it still a problem? I was, yeah. And they're like, well, aren't they a nurse and engineer? I'm like, yeah. And they still don't have the money? I'm like, yeah. And then he was like, well, when are you going to have the money? And I really thought to myself deep down, I was like, I'm never actually going to have the money. And that's when I realized for things to change, I needed to change. For things to get better, I needed to get better. And for the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I can happily, wholeheartedly tell you that $24.97 was a problem for me. 5K was a problem for me. 10K was a problem for me. But because I took action on the thing that I was uncomfortable with by putting myself in front of Gary, I can wholeheartedly tell you that it's not a problem anymore. Not only me, but Dina could do it. Greg could do it. Bonnie could do it. Nick could do it. Ernesto from Mexico can do it. Carolina from Nicaragua can now say that it's not a problem for them because even though it was a big investment at the time, it was an investment, not a cost. And they knew that they can make their money back faster than they ever thought was possible. Like how, for example, Les hit 19 grand her first week. Does that make sense? The next question is, I don't have any time to do this. Well, remember, this only takes 30 minutes a day. And if you don't have 30 minutes per day, then you don't have a life, right? You have other things to go ahead and ask yourself on why you don't have 30 minutes per day. Because here's the thing, everybody has 24 hours a day, right? From Oprah Winfrey to Bill Gates to Donald Trump to even like the homeless person. But it's what you do with that time will dictate how much you're worth. And the craziest thing is you don't need a lot of time to do this. Now, if you really think about it, right now you have this goal. You want to hit, 6 figures or $1,000 a day. You want to get freedom for yourself. You're probably doing 5 things right now to go ahead and do this, right? Now, I want you to organize it from like the thing that takes you the most amount of time, which could be either your job or your brick and mortar business or raising your family or something, right? Something that might take you 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day. I want you to put that on the top. Now, I want you to start listing all the other ways that you're trying to make more money online or on the side, from order of most amount of time to the least amount of time. Now, on that 5th one, the thing that takes you the least amount of time, something that maybe is only taking you 30 minutes a day, maybe you're 30 minutes a day reading a book or watching a YouTube video or something, right? I want you to take a big red marker and cross the thing that takes you the least amount of time, that only takes you 30 minutes a day. And instead, I want you in big letters after crossing out to put profit singularity. Because congratulations, without taking any more of your time, while only giving you only 30 minutes a day to go ahead and work on it, I have given you a solution that will now allow you in the next 8 weeks or less to hit your income goals faster than you ever thought was possible, right? Another question we get is, I have the cash, but should I put it on a credit card? And that's what I ended up doing because of the fact that I knew not only can I get travel rewards points, which I could, literally rack up to, fly for free or fly business class for free or, get hotels for free. But I knew I could also use it as an expense because it was for my education, right? And that's what I do for all of these events that I go to, or these masterminds that I go to, or these communities that I'm a part of, or these like extended education that I'm a part of when it comes to my online business. I use that to, for example, deduct it as an expense in my business, which is amazing because it's essentially free money because it's an expense. Does that make sense? That's why I like using my credit card for all of like my purchases, because even though I pay it back right away, I'm still able to go ahead and reap the benefits of the rewards. And there's so many actually credit cards that you can actually go ahead and use that you get 0% interest for example, a year. Like for example, American Express Blue Cash Every Day is one where you get 0% interest, or Capital One Quicksilver, you get like 0% interest for a year. So you'll essentially have a year to pay back, for example, the investment in this tuition. And you see people making their money back within their first week to 4 weeks to 8 weeks. Does that make sense? Right? So that's why I would recommend it, because then you're using other people's money. Does that make sense? And you're literally not paying any interest on it, as assuming as you either got a good credit card with no 0% interest, or you, for example, got PayPal credit, which is 6 months interest free. So that's essentially free money that you could essentially go ahead and invest in today, sign up for it, and you literally have 6 months to make your money back. Does that make sense? But you literally saw a lot of people make their money back within their first couple of weeks, as insane as it is. And I literally answered that question, can I write it off as a business expense? Now, I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a tax advisor. This is literally what I do. And this is what I do when I consult tax providers and consultants, consult your local tax attorney. But I write the things that I invest in as a business expense, like the events that I go to, meeting with Gary, all of these things, because then it was like a no-lose situation. It was just a win-win situation. Now, how do I qualify for PayPal credit? All you got to do is go to the link below or in the button, sign up for it in that third option, and just there's an instructions on exactly how to do this. Now, you have to be from the US or the UK, and I think they do Canada, or it might just be US, UK, but you could go ahead and check it out when you sign up for it in the link below or in the button. There's instructions on exactly how to do that. Now, I don't understand how to create YouTube ads, and that's the beauty of it, because when you sign up today, we are literally going to give you the AI softwares and editors and web pages and splash pages that are literally going to do the ads for you. Does that make sense? Right? As well as like the instant video script generator. Now, a lot of people are like, okay, well, I'm nervous to get started. Well, understand this. Everyone that you've seen that has become successful, they were nervous. And that nervousness is a normal feeling. When I invested $5K to go be put in the same room as Gary, I was nervous as all heck. I'm like, what if I lose money? What if I fail? What if I look like an idiot in front of my family? And I just knew that that was my old limiting self-talk that was keeping me where I wanted to be. And I knew for things to change, I needed to get out of my comfort zone. Because the results that you want, that life that you want, the success that you want, that's out of your comfort zone. And you got to think about it. Whenever you get out of your comfort zone, you naturally feel nervous because you're doing something that you haven't done ever. And I can assure you that if you feel nervous, that is amazing, because that's exactly what all of our successful students and community members did and felt before they went and hit their first 1K per day profits faster in 8 weeks. Those 15 beta testers, right, that hit $500 profit, all of them, the 15 beta testers that we initially took this system to, they all felt nervous in the beginning. But do you think they felt nervous when they started getting results? And that's why when you start seeing the system and you start signing up, you start realizing that it's a lot easier and a lot faster than you think. And you're going to laugh 6 to 8 weeks from now when you look back and you're like, I can't believe I was that nervous. Wow, why was I so nervous? So now it's actually so easy. I'm actually so grateful and thankful that now I'm actually getting the income that I know deep down I secretly deserve. Does that make sense? You know, the question they say is, oh, I don't believe in myself. And guys, most people don't believe in themselves when they first get started. I didn't believe in myself. And that's why it literally took a great mentor and a great system to literally see greatness inside of me better than I could see in myself. And the coolest thing about this is you don't need to believe in yourself because we do all the believing for you. We've created all the bonuses and the system and the artificial intelligence to do all the work for you. So even though you don't believe in yourself, that's great. You just believe in the system and we'll believe in you. Because how you actually believe in yourself is by getting micro results. You know, the best thing that possibly happened to me was when I first got my first check of like $46 or $50 online. I was like, oh my God, it wasn't millions, it wasn't thousands, it wasn't tens of thousands. It was like, oh my God, this is real. And I started building belief that it was possible. And what happens is that belief is like a muscle. And as you make more money, the belief in yourself and your earning potential and what you know deep down you are worth starts growing as well. That's exactly what happened to Dina. Dina, even though she makes $1,000 a day profit now, she was like, that best check was $46 on my first commission because I was like, wow, this works. And then that belief check is what gets her to start believing in her more, to start breaking her records. Does that make sense? Do I have some time to think about it? Yeah, but you might miss out on all of these 30 bonuses or these 7 bonuses. And here's the thing. If it's going to take time to get the money ready and we literally run out because we can't give these to everybody, as you can see, it literally takes money to go ahead and run some of these, right? We can only give it away for the first 30 that enroll today, right? So remember, take action today. If it's not for you, great. You could always get a refund with a return policy. But the thing that you cannot miss out on is taking action and getting these bonuses, because the reason why these bonuses were designed were to have you take action. Because we understand the faster people take action is the faster they're going to get results in life. How they treat anything is how they get results in everything. And for the people that are wishy-washy, guess what? The results are going to come in wishy-washy. But if the ones that are like excited and they're motivated and they're like, okay, if Dina can do it, if Greg can do it, if, you know, Ernesto from Mexico or Carolina from Nicaragua or Nick can do this, then I can do this. And even though I don't have the money, I could put it on credit card or like PayPal credit. I know I can make this happen. Even if I don't believe in myself, those are the people that really, really succeed. And even the people that don't believe in themselves, they still succeed because of the bonuses that we give them, right? And can I try this out by themselves without help? Good luck, because you won't have all of these bonuses to go ahead and help you get started. And remember, it took me 24 months to go ahead and get started. A lot of trial and error, a lot of failures. And the reason why people do this is because they value their time and they want it faster and easier. Instead of waiting 24 months for a result, they could get it in as little as 8 weeks. Does that make sense? Is this for beginners? As you can see, if it took advanced people to get started with this, I don't think we'd have people that are 47 years old or 58 years old or 62 years old or grandmothers succeeding with this. So yes, it's perfect for beginners. How much do I need to invest in ads per day? The best people will really start with, like, for example, a $500 or $1,000 budget, right? That's it. And you think about it as like your tuition to learning, right? So for example, for me, I was spending 30 grand to 40 grand a year for a college education that maybe one day I could like make 6 figures on, right? Now, I'm not asking you to invest what people do in, like, for example, college education. We're just saying, if you just had like 500 or $1,000 to just test on ads, right? And you could see with the system in this blueprint, it's already worked for people that didn't have the time, the money, or the experience to go ahead and do this. You literally make profit, and you take that profit and you use that profit to reinvest it back in the business and grow. That's how people with not that much money, like for example, Raj and Sam from India, did it. They only had like $200 a month to go ahead and do this with, right? But when they started making profit, they stopped putting in their own money, and instead they started playing off the profit that they were making. Does that make sense? Can I get to 1K per day profit in 30 days? As you can see, I can't tell if you can personally do, because I don't know who you are or what your why or your reasons to succeeding are. But I can tell you, Dina went from 0 to 1K per day in 5 weeks, right? Greg went from 0 to, for example, 8K, that biggest day that he had, in like 6 to 8 weeks. Literally, Gabe, within, I think, 3 months, hit, 16 grand in a single day. You even have Ilya, who made 100 grand in 2 months, right? So if you see them and you're like, well, they're similar in my situation, and they had similar limiting beliefs as I did. If you see someone in this training and you resonate with them and you're like, wow, their story resonates with you, you got to ask yourself, if they can do it, why can't you? If Bonnie, a 62-year-old woman, was able to go from 0 to 160 grand in 90 days, I mean, can you maybe even get to the point where you make $100 a day, right? Now, that's like not that much, but like, heck, if you get $100 a day, that's $3,000 a month. Not only did you make your $24.97 back, but now you're making all profit after that. Does that make sense, right? I'm not tech savvy. Can I do this? You don't have to be tech savvy. All you got to do is you got to ask yourself, do you want like all of this more than you want this measly amount that you are looking at your bank account and you're looking at the student number, your bank account and the student number on the screen. You're like, do I want this more than all of this? Because I'm telling you this right now, a lot of people were like, oh, they're doing this little dance. Like, should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I do this? Should I not do this? But then when they realized that Bonnie went from 0 to 160 grand in 90 days, this almost looks like nothing for the amount that you're getting with people getting results because of this. Does that make sense? Like, how many guys would invest $24.97 today if you knew that you were like Bonnie and made 160 grand in 90 days? Or Dino, who went from 0 to $1,000 a day profits in 5 to 6 weeks, right? Think about it. And how many hours per day should I spend? Remember, it only takes 30 minutes a day. Is this from the U.S. citizens? Literally, we have, like I'm here in Bali right now. We have people from Thailand, people from Nicaragua, from Mexico, from Portugal, from Germany, from Canada, from Australia, from the UK. There's people from all around the world doing this because it doesn't matter where you're from. All you need is a laptop and an internet connection and you can make this happen. Now, what's the difference between your course and others? Well, number one, I don't think you're going to get all of these for free in other courses. Number two, I don't think the community is as great as ours. Like, as you can see, you're not just essentially getting this system, right? Because this isn't just a course, this is a system. You're getting a community of people where, we meet up worldwide and we travel around the world and we hang out and it's fun doing it. And you get to meet people that are just like you that support you. And I think that alone is what makes things valuable. It's the friends that I have now that I didn't have when I was stuck in the Midwest with friends and family did not support me. That alone was worth its weight in gold. Does that make sense? And the thing about this is you're not on other people's training right now. You're on this training. And if you're on this training, I feel that deep down that this has literally been, as you're thinking to yourself, the thing that you've been looking for your entire life. Maybe it's not the system, but maybe it's the bonuses, or maybe it's not the bonuses, but maybe it's the community. But as you are listening to my voice and you are seeing this screen and you are experiencing this moment as you are looking at this information right now, that deep down that there's something in this that, I don't know if it's intuition or call it your gut, that that this is the thing that you knew you need to do right now. That is literally being the thing that's going to change your life forever. And you almost can't afford not to do this because of the opportunity that you missed out seeing normal, ordinary people that were just like you take action on this today and creating life-changing success. Because you got to ask yourself, there's going to be 3 types of people that take action today. People that make things happen, watch things happen, go, what the heck just happened? And I want to ask you, do you want to be the person that misses out on this and see people that take action on this right now, 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from, 8 weeks from now, and you hear success stories, you see the ads, right, of the people that were just like you, that took action when you didn't, that get the results that you didn't because you didn't take action today when you had all of these bonuses right now. Now, do I still qualify for all of the bonuses? Right now, we are almost nearing capacity. And once the capacity is filled, sorry, that we're just going to cut it. But for now, at the time being, we still are in capacity. So make sure you sign up for it right now to get access to all these bonuses right now. And can I really do this? That's the thing that stops, I think, the most amazing people from getting results. And it's not necessarily the system, but their personal belief in themselves. And I know for me, I wasn't really believing in myself. But that's why I literally found Gary. And I literally, when I didn't believe in myself and I had all these fears and insecurities and doubts in myself, he believed in me. And I'm literally taking that belief and putting it into you. And that's exactly what happened, especially when we started seeing all of these success like Bonnie and Sam and Raj and Ernesto, all of these people that you see did not believe in themselves, but they literally came in and started succeeding because we believed in them for them, because the community was there behind them. We're like a backbone. We're behind you every single step of the way. And you could see that if they were able to do it, why can't you? Does that make sense? And why not right now? And this is literally what we ended up doing. You can see when the belief happens and the why is big enough, remember the how doesn't matter. And all of these people that you see that come to our events that we throw for like the community members that are in our community to hang out, to talk to you, to have a lot of fun is because of the belief that we give into them. And that's why we're willing to do all these things. So guys, make sure you sign up for it right now while all the bonuses are hot. And I want to actually hand this over to Gary to give a final word. So sign up for it right now and I'll see you guys inside.
So my name is Gary Kramer. I have a small company that where we basically teach people how to attain financial freedom online. I do remember when I was a child and like a teenager growing up. And I remember having to like go to school and everybody at school had a leather jacket and a class ring and a car, you know, and all the other kids had all these things. And I didn't. I wanted them, but you know, I knew that my mom's like a single mother with 8 children, you know, in the Midwest in the United States. And we were considered poor, probably to outsiders. To me, I didn't realize that we were poor until later because we had love, affection, and I had somebody who believed in me and who completely accepted me for what my strengths were. So I had all the essentials in life to succeed. At some point later on, I realized that we're poor, you know, we were really poor. And I thought you know, at some point I realized that I think I can actually, you know, like make some money in this world, you know. I don't have to be like this my whole life, you know. It's like there's something that I can achieve. And I started to believe in myself at a young age. And that's how I lived my life.
Is there a rough estimate of how much you made?
We don't even count money anymore. Literally, like I probably made close to $1 million this month, and I don't pay attention.
How much did it mean for you to have a mum that believed in you?
It meant everything to me. Like, the truth is my mom just passed away, so it's kind of a fresh thing for me. But you know, I mean, it meant everything to me that my mom believed in me. I'm the unexpected success story in my entire, you know, city where I grew up. Everybody looks at me like, well, they never suspected. I was like the bottom 10% of my class, you know, in high school. Nobody ever believed. I was an alcoholic from the age of 17 to 23 until I quit, you know. But my mom always believed in me. And then last year, like about 9 months ago, she became terminally ill, you know, and I flew across the country, you know, 1,500 miles to get there. And she died in my arms, and there's 30 kids and grandkids like surrounding her bed. I'm holding her in my arms and just, you know, watching her, you know, go away. And you can't help but remember that this person always was there for me. Like, she was there for me from the beginning, believed in me throughout the entire thing. And she was an amazing woman, my mom. She never asked for anything, and she never complained one moment in her life about the life that she was dealt. I mean, she felt like she was rich because she had us, you know. She gave everything to us. She gave us countless gifts, you know, the kind of things that like carry through, you know. And I'm trying to give those gifts back to other people.
My husband had suffered from depression for years, and he finally lost his battle. And when he passed away, everything just stopped in my world. All my creativity was gone. I was going to, work on some children's books and some things, and all of that just came to a stop. We had been very active in music together, and I couldn't bring myself for at least a year to even come back into life. It was probably the darkest time in my entire life. Most people in the program, their big day, the date that they remember is when they made their first big breakthrough. For me, it was the day I joined Rise Academy because it changed my life completely.
And actually, it was when they opened up the Mentor Me program was right about the time when I was going to say, okay, something either I need to have a breakthrough right now, like right now, or I can't do this.
I was coming close to my, hey, for the next 60 days, if I can't make it work, then I'm gonna have to go back and go to corporate America, and I was like, I don't want to do that. From there, I went from course to course, and that's when I came across Gary and Rob's. When I watched them, I said, these guys are really good at marketing, but there's something a little bit deeper there. And I could feel that they were extremely transparent and speaking from the heart. And what they gave in that first week of training was more than was the price of admission for the entire course.
I remember just doing the numbers and it was 700% ROI. I'm like, oh, holy crap. And I was with a friend of mine and her nephew. We're just hanging out, and I refreshed my screen and I screamed because I couldn't believe it. She's like, what, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, just nothing, I'm fine. I mean, even right now I'm like sweating, reliving the memory because it was like so powerful. Like it was a weird feeling to be making money when you're just having fun, when I had always been struggling.
But then, bam, it was in June, first week of June in 2016, and I hit my first winning campaign, and then it just took off. And yes, in a couple of weeks I went from zero to making thousands of dollars a day. Rise Academy for me not only financially secured my life, but it changed my life in so many ways, leaving not only a legacy for my son, but also finding peace for myself. And I feel like I'm home, within Rise Academy.
It felt like I was printing money. At the end of the day, I'd come down from my office and I'd tell my husband, well, I printed $4,000 today, $6,000 today, and we were both like, what? It was just an unbelievable run, and I did pretty well.
And I opened up my laptop, and my first sale using this program was a $10 commission, and I was just ecstatic. I was like, yes. And then throughout that day, I just kept making sales consistently. My mom said, "What are you doing? That's crazy." And then I actually remember my first $1,000 day. I'll never forget it. I actually dropped to my knees and I started crying.
Woke up on Thanksgiving morning and saw the money that had been made overnight and during the morning, and I just was like, wow, okay, this is incredible, right? I mean, my ROI was really good, and I was just like, wow, this does work. It was kind of mind-blowing, and I realized, wow, I can actually enjoy Thanksgiving and just check in on my ads.
I'll never forget when the money started coming in, I went to, immediately. I went to bed, I woke up the next day, it's still coming through, and the next day it's still coming through, and I thought, I gotta show Dad. And so I brought him in, and he's looking at the statistics, and he was like, wow. And then the next day he's looking at the statistics again, and he really, across that first week when there was just this consistent success, he got really excited. We'd go to the grocery store, and I'd save a little money on something on sale. He'd go, you can use that on ad spend. I mean, it was really phenomenal. It's like I was bringing him back up with me.
In those first few months, is there a rough estimate of how much you made?
Yeah, about $160,000 in about 90 days.
How much money did you make in your first month?
A little over 60,000.
So the first week that I had that huge success took me from really zero to, I made $19,000 that week. And when you have that kind of money coming in, the types of change that you can make for people is incredible. And when Bill died, I felt helpless. And I don't want anybody to ever have to go through that feeling again. And the ability for me to work with NAMI and to fund research, to reach out to the survivors of suicide and affect real change is very important to me. And I feel like I can really, really make a difference now, whereas before I might have been able to do some small piece.
It is so fun to be able to do things for your kids, and even though they're adults, they still had financial needs. The first thing I did was pay off their student loans. Problem solved, because I could write that check.
With Gary's support, I was really, it was like I was giving myself permission to live again, to come back to life. He has undying belief in not just me, but everybody who's in the program, and has continually found ways to reach out to us to make our dreams come true, to make this happen for us in any way that he can. It's phenomenal.
It's not hard to tap into the feeling and the emotion that comes when a student who recently did not believe in themselves at all, to the point where they are ecstatic with emotion because they experienced a breakthrough, because it just happened yesterday. It literally just happened yesterday. I got a phone call from a student of mine who, she was like, Gary, I gotta talk to you. This is really important. You're gonna want to hear this. And first I was kind of worried about it, and I was like, okay, call. I was like, what is it? And she's like, I gotta tell you, I just made $500 today, And I'm like, oh, well, that's not such a problem, is it? But that moment, and you can hear the excitement in her voice. She's ecstatic, because she went from nothing to just boom, 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 and she exploded overnight. For me, I've been seeing this happen for the last 18 months and on a consistent basis, on a regular basis. But every single time that I see it, it's like it kind of hits me, and I gotta admit, I feel really good about it, to play a role in somebody's story, to be that person that believed in her enough to lift her up and to help her feel that she can do this. Because frankly, most people go into this feeling that they can't do it, and you almost have to just bully them into believing that they can do it. You have to help them find that place deep inside of themselves where they believe in themselves, and it happens because you believe in them. They don't believe in themselves. They've been conditioned not to believe in themselves, so they need somebody who actually does believe in them.
What's life like now as Victoria that believes in herself?
I guess when at this point now I feel like, yeah, I'm worth it, and I'm worth all of this that I went through, and I'm worth all the support that I've gotten from the program. It's a life-changing thing for me personally, and I can't imagine imagine if I'd been missing out on all this. That would be really sad.
I would say this is the best decision you could possibly make. Sorry. Yeah, it's unimaginable, if I hadn't done this, where my life would be right now. So, to me, it's just so much, that's what I would say to myself, is just, don't hesitate, do it.
My mom always believed in me. I didn't ever have to have doubt in myself, but I am surrounded by people who have doubt in themselves, And I'm able to give them that gift that my mom gave me, you know?
How does it feel to carry on that legacy?
Well, it feels like she's still alive, you know, like she's living through me. You know? I feel like I'm plugged in where I'm supposed to be. So there's no other place that I'm supposed to be. Like everything in my life, every belief that I've had, every principle that I've fought for in my life is coming out through this experience. And I'm just sitting back, sort of along for the ride now because it's all just happening. I mean, I definitely stirred things up to get here. I worked really, really hard to get where I am today. But now I'm in a position to give back to everybody else and that I encounter, everybody else who needs somebody to believe in them. It's like I'm there, I can give it to them, you know, it's like it means a lot to be able to have an impact on ordinary people that never expected to have somebody believe in them.
So what would you say to that person?
Do it. I would say do it, buy the program, do it.
If you are serious, then buy it. If you're not serious, and if you're just gonna, you know, if you're not gonna take action, don't bother. Because like anything in life, it's not going to work if you don't take action. But if you take action, this will work for you.
I'd say there's no perfect time to buy a course. You know, I remember I had to put my last $500 on Gary's first course. I had to put my faith in that. It wasn't even my credit card. So there is no perfect timing, you know. So I recommend just taking that leap of faith and doing anything you can. I mean, selling stuff if you have to. When I first started, I had one of my mentors said, go and sell your car, go and sell your flooring tools, like do whatever you can to get the money to invest, you know, in yourself. And I did. I'm glad I did. You know, if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't be where I am today.
You know, every person that gets in this program, I don't care who you are, what your background is, you can succeed with it. I know because I talk to hundreds of students every single week from all different backgrounds, all different struggles, and they come in with the same reasons, you know, deep down inside of why I came in, and they're finding success from no matter where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I had to borrow money from a friend to get into the program. I had already racked up all this credit card debt, and I think it's a choice, but it's worth it.
If you're looking for a change in lifestyle, this offers everything and guidance and love along the way.
Awesome.
I don't blame anybody for feeling the way that they feel, the skepticisms, the doubts that you must feel in this moment, because you've been conditioned to feel this way. How can you not feel this way? It's not your fault. But you can't allow your doubts to prevent you from the ultimate opportunity to succeed in life. The secret is that you have to be able to trust your heart, trust your instincts, and find the person that resonates with you. Now, I am in a unique position because I don't need money from someone. I don't do this for money. I already have all the money that I could ever need. I could retire tomorrow, but I would be bored. I genuinely want to make a difference in people's lives. When you're ready to change your life, when you're ready to make a change in your life, the only way that a significant change is going to happen in your life is if you're all in. The only way that you can be all in is if you remove the resistance, if you let down your guard. It's like in a relationship, if you want to have love in your life, you have to completely let down your guard, and it's going to be painful. You know, it's going to be challenging. You might not want to because you don't want to get hurt. The same is true in business. You don't want to get hurt. You've probably been hurt again. Why would you you know, trust somebody again? You've been hurt. You know, that's the story of all of our lives. But you have to trust your heart, your instincts, and when you hear somebody, you can feel the genuineness and the authenticity in a person's voice. And if you feel, or if my words or my story resonates with you, then just trust the moment. Don't risk losing out on an opportunity just because somebody else hurt you. No, you have to embrace the moment, trust your instincts. Your instincts are strong. Why would I need to, manipulate someone? All I want is for people to be successful. I want an opportunity